Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 14 for Pure Speed Elite Series here at iRacing Superspeedway. A different strategy is definitely in store from what tracks we've seen before. The speed, tight racing, and the challenges that come with it, and there are a few, let me tell you. These will either make drivers really pumped from a great finish or very frustrated and heartbroken. Who will survive the big one and head to victory lane? Stay tuned to find out as I'm here with Jordan McGraw bringing you all the action from the booth. Jordan, what's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just ready to watch some super speedway racing at arguably the wildest super speedway track on iRacing.
Absolutely. We're getting ready here for qualifying, and you can see these guys already starting to hit the track. I want to give you guys a shout out and chat. What's up? I hope you guys are doing really good tonight. We'll go ahead and get the board pulled up here, but man, it's going to be a wild night. If you guys know, me from iRacing, you know I absolutely love this track, but it is a challenge. It's crazy out there, so expect an absolute crazy race, a lot of action. We're gonna see some big ones. That's just how it is, Jordan.
Good luck in the booth, Frozen and J-Mac.
Absolutely, it's just it's a wild track, like you said. It has long straightaways, and then corners that are really tight but have so much banking. You don't have to worry about letting off the throttle. So there's a lot of drafting, but those corners are so tight. They're still difficult to get in, especially deep in the pack with a big old run trying to run people down. So it's a wild track, it's a crazy track, and it's going to be real interesting to see how these guys manage working their way around it.
Absolutely. We have a couple of drivers already out. We have Sammy Harrell. He is out here in that number 43, trying to get his first lap qualifying time here. We're on board with also Jason Keffer in the 22 car, having a great season so far. I wish him a ton of luck. I feel like he has run into issues, Jordan, where he kind of can't help it, just wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm hoping tonight brings him a lot of luck out there.
I think this is a place where you're pretty much gonna have to be dependent on luck. A lot of these drivers' fates are gonna be out of their hands and in the fates of everyone around them. We saw 3 wide action. We saw a little 4 wide. It's gonna be. I think this is one place where, regardless of what kind of season you had, you just gotta go for what you can, and if something happens, just let it go and go on to the next week, because this one's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely. And I do want to give a shout out to Hall with another 1,000 biddies out in chat. Thank you so much. He says, good luck in the booth, Frozen and J-Mac. And CM, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Let's get some of these other guys out. We have Enrique Canones. He is number 2 on the board with 46.20 in that number 45 machine. Looking good out there. Giovanni Klein. He's out here at the top time so far. Newer driver to the series, at least this season. So it's good to see him out here, but he joins the DI9 team out there. I do believe that is actually Cold Dog Racing, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what these guys can do. But Jordan, how many guys do you think we're going to see hold back and not qualify just to kind of be conservative out there?
I mean, I feel it's probably going to be a lot. I really feel like a lot of these drivers are probably going to want to stay in the back, take care of their car, take care of their fast repair. But if you can't be in the back, then you want to be up front. You want to be in control of the race. You want to be in control of the line. So if right now we only see 4 drivers with a time down at the moment. So if we get down close to the end of the timer, if I'm one of these guys that was considering starting at the back, I might have to seriously reconsider it, get up, get a lap in, and try to start toward the front of this thing and go for controlling this race.
Absolutely. Send, you need to get out here. Where are you? Okay, I see you. I see you out there now. Never mind. And Davey Andre, this is iRacing Superspeedway. It is a fast track. You will see these guys going insane lap times here and just really, really fast. I'm trying to find where can we find where it shows how fast you are going. I'll figure that out, but man, I'll tell you what, it is absolutely insane to see the speeds that they reach, especially when they are drafting together. It is absolutely intense. And let me tell you something, when you're going through these corners, it is not as easy as it seems. You have these corners that absolutely push you up the track. So if you are on the high side going through the corners, you have to really anticipate that some of these drivers are not going to be able to hold the bottom, especially if they are directly behind someone. You really have to be an experienced driver here and able to hold that line down there. So it's going to be very interesting, and I think that's going to be an issue tonight, where it's going to be tight quarters, and we're going to see these guys come together in the corners and make contact, and that's going to start the big one.
Yeah, when you're down there on the bottom lane in a pack, really experience. I've only done a couple of races here. I've done one race in the trucks and one race in the Indy cars, which that was an experience. But especially in those things, when you're down stuck on the bottom, it's really, really tough to negotiate, because all you see in front of you is the back of a car. So
Absolutely.
you get to that corner and it's incredibly tight, but like you said, it's a really tight turn, even though it has a lot of banking. So you have to put a pretty decent amount of wheel to it. You can't see, it's blind, and you're going way faster because you have a car in front of you and you're getting the massive draft. So it's just real tough to navigate. It's really easy to miss the corner, turn in late, or even to turn in early and hit the apron. And if you hit the apron, you're definitely going to slide up. And if that driver on the outside of you isn't giving you a lot of room, then you're probably going to hit them and cause a wreck. So that's going to be the tough spot. If you're in the outside lane, all you have to do is hold your line. But those drivers on the inside lane have a tough task of holding their line and keeping it smooth down there.
Absolutely. And just to give you guys a perspective here, I was talking about this earlier. Take a look at this camera view. We're going to follow Austin Reedy out here into turn 1, and just the banking that is out here is just absolutely insane. Hopefully we'll get him to go through the corner. Come on, Reedy, don't let us down. All right, here we go. You can just see it is absolutely insane, the banking. So it's just something that can increase the speeds out here, but it is so insanely dangerous when you're going through the corners. We've talked about it, and you're going to hear more and more about it here tonight. The angles, it's just absolutely insane. I'm seeing a lot of fans out there for Cold Dog Racing, so we got some fans out there. Let me know who is your driver. Boy, Nana, I see you out there. JGM making it back tonight. Good luck out there. I have a feeling everyone is gonna need it. It is intense. I love it. I love it. I wish I was out there. This is my racing right here. I absolutely love it. Jordan, what about you? Would you be out there if you could?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just because there really isn't a lot of practice needed for this race, I can just sure, why not? Let's go out there and kill a couple hours and see if we can take home a victory or get a good finish and go have some fun. But obviously that wouldn't be the most respectful thing for these drivers who are trying to get points, and if I caused a wreck, that would be absolutely horrible, and I could probably see that happening. So, because I don't have a lot of experience on this track, like I said, only a couple of races, but they were both really entertaining. They're both wild. They were both fun. It's just like you said, it's crazy out there.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead. I want to talk to Mr. Holiday, Doc Holiday out there. How you doing? It's Eliza in the booth.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I see you out there with the top time so far. What's going to be your strategy going into tonight to kind of secure that win?
Stay out of the chaos. It's gonna be crazy.
I think so.
Everybody wants to get to the front. Everybody wants to lead. Yeah, it's gonna be chaos.
Do you have any teammates out there you kind of huddled up with and said, "Hey, let's work together tonight"?
Solo. Sometimes it's better that way.
I mean, you got a point there. You got a point. All right. Well, I wish you a lot of luck tonight, and hopefully we'll see you in the booth afterwards.
Hopefully I can make the first lap without getting taken out. Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Yep.
All right, you heard it there from Mr. Doc Holiday on pole. Only 12 have qualified, Jordan. What does that tell you here? A lot of these guys are playing it pretty darn conservative.
Yeah, that tells me these guys don't want any part of accidentally finding themselves in the middle of the pack, or getting up there. So think these guys are gonna take it easy and chill. Like if I were out there and I weren't racing for points, I'd probably have gotten out there, put down a lap, and seen if I could stay up front. But obviously these guys have some larger aspirations than tonight, and they wanna score some points, and they're thinking about that. There's no stages, there's no opportunity to score points in the middle of the race, like in real life NASCAR. So obviously these guys playing conservative, and a lot of these drivers will probably see toward the end of the race because that conservativeness will probably reward them.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and grid these guys up as they're coming on out. We have on pole Doc Holliday, I do believe for the first time this season, in that number 88. On the outside, we're going to have James Hudson in that number 53. Row 2, we have Giovanni Klein in the 63 with Matt O'Brien in the 17 on the outside. Row 3, we have Enrique Canones in the 43 with Sean Burke in that 223 on the outside. Row 4, we have Austin Reedy in the 11 with John Honeycutt in that 50 on the outside. And is that row 5? Yes, Cole Snyder in the 23 with Jason Keffer on the outside.
Well, I'm sure I'll get the numbers wrong myself, but here in row 6, Sammy Harrell and Clayton Duncan. In 13th is Brian Huntley. 14th, Mark Johnson. 15th is Justin Mons. In 16th is Kyle Benson. Robert Reynolds and Edward Scher make up row 9. And then row 10 is Jamie Haynes and Joel Conley.
All right, and we have next Tyler Werner in that 33 with Jaden Gimbel in that number 3. We have Michael York in the 23rd spot in that 81 car with Charlie Mosley Jr. in this number 60. And rounding out, you guys, we have Kelly Melanson and Chris Fathke. We also have Atlanta Racing, and if you guys watch his streams, he does other broadcasts for PSES, so a huge welcome to him tonight. I'm glad he can join us. That is your field, Jordan, and it is going to be quite the field. We have a lot of drivers out here, 27 to be exact, so I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be... I'm really excited to see how this race starts off, if these drivers try to get single file and take it easy on each other, or if we see the 2 and 3 and 4 wide racing that we saw these drivers attempting this. But we're getting ready to go here. I'm excited. I'm curious. I'm a lot of things. This is gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Crazy King, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. In a hall with 1,250 biddies. Thank you so much. We're getting these guys lined up. 27 guys out here ready to take on iRacing Superspeedway. It's going to be a wild one. Get your popcorn ready. Get a snack out there, something to drink. And let me know who you're rooting for. We have Cold Dog Racing fans out there. We got Hain fans out there. That was a mouthful, but yeah, this is going to be good. I'm excited for it. Doc Holliday on the pole with Hudson on the outside. I'm curious how this is going to start off. Are we going to see a long green flag run here? Going to be very interesting to see. This is just one of those tracks where you can either make a lot of runs and do really well together, or it could start off as a disaster.
Hoping not disaster as we're coming to the green here. Like, oof.
Let's hope. And these guys are off at iRacing Superspeedway. It is going to be intense out here. We already have the 63 all over the bumper of Doc Holliday. Super close out here, but man, oh man, let's take a look at this. 2 wide all the way back, and I don't think that is going to change for quite some time here tonight.
Yeah, 2 by 2, usually really both neither lane is close to each other. That outside lane giving a lot of room right up against the wall. The bottom line working the yellow line. The 63 pulls out to get to the outside of the 88. He's looking for the lead. He's going to work that outside lane. And that's another thing about this track that we're going to see is that outside lane. It gives up a lot of speed in the center of the corner, but it gains a ton on exit thanks to that banking.
It sure does. I mean, you gotta have a good group with you on the outside, but man, oh man, you can really gain a lot of speed. And they are using everything they can on that outside. Doc Holliday still leading the inside with Matthew O'Brien right directly behind him. That outside line trying to get formed up even more so than they were. Doc Holliday kind of using both lanes, so we'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, he gave up a lot of track on the outside. That's going to cost him the lead. He's going to get split by the 17 and the 45. That was not the right move there. He was kind of timid with blocking. That's going to cost him. He's going to try to pinch down the 11. The 11 has to check up just a little bit. But, oh, there's a wreck in the back.
Let's take a look, see if we can see what happened with that. I'm not seeing anything just yet, but man, oh man, we are still green right now. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. You can see still some smoke back there. Oh boy.
The one of Mark Johnson got put in the wall by the 4 machine of Clayton Duncan. That's what happened there on the exit at turn 4, and the one hit the inside wall incredibly hard. Looked like a 1-car accident, but that's going to be a tough one for the 1 machine.
Yeah, that is the FTR team right there. Hunter Johnson, really unfortunate to see, but back up here we have a new leader, and that is Giovanni Klein in that number 63 machine. And a nice move by the 17, but he gets into the wall as he's trying to take it high, falls back several positions, and the 45 of Enrique Canones is going to move up to second. These guys running very, very tight. A lot of guys on the outside making that work for them. Very good deal out there. This inside line, there's only about 7 down there. I'm curious if they're going to get that formed up anymore, or are these guys going to like the outside, and the inside moves up a little bit. Very, very close. Austin Reedy catches the apron right there and moves up, but they're okay. Still moving on.
Still moving on, but that outside lane with a massive run, that's what we were talking about earlier. If you can stay hooked up, the 17 going to take the lead, the 53 of Hudson right behind him, the 50 of Honeycutt behind him. Now that inside lane going to get that massive advantage through these really tight, high banked corners. The 63 going to clear the 53 of Hudson. Going to think about pulling up in front of him, opts not to, pulls down into that inside lane. But those 3 drivers in that outside lane already looks like they're going to clear for the lead here.
Absolutely. They have a run and they're going to use it. We're on board with Austin Reedy in the 11. You can see how intense it is and how it does want to throw your car up. And there's a bump coming out of the corner that it can get you a little loose. It's not going to disturb you too much, but it is enough that if you have someone side drafting you, it will definitely affect how you're running. You can take a look. John Honeycutt, who is also a fan favorite, in second place in the number 50 machine for Melody Woodworking, doing a great job moving up through the field as the 53 is our current leader.
53, the current leader. The 50 of Honeycutt has the run. He's going to work his way to the bottom, going to clear himself on a 63, gets into the apron, loses a little bit of momentum. The 63 of Klein checks up for him a little bit. The 50 moves back up to the high line. He's going to try to block that run from the 53. Will he take the run or will he stay in line? It's looking like he's going to just stay in line here behind that 50 car. 17 of Matthew O'Brien directly behind him. So the outside lane, those drivers opting to kind of work together still as they're getting well formed. Those drivers in the bottom lane, it looks like that line is starting to peter out just a little bit.
Yeah, we're seeing what these guys can do. Man, that high side is really working well tonight, and I'm surprised they're holding it as well as they can. Meanwhile, our pole sitter, Doc Holliday, has moved back up to 4th place, doing a great job out there. The low line really making some moves, moving up on the high side. These guys are really working both lanes at this point, coming out of the corners, going up high, diving it back down into the corners. So very interesting to see how they're making that work, but man, it looks like a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, these drivers having a ton of fun. Not a lot of contact, which is good. So a few aggressive moves, but nothing too out of line so far, as the 63 of Giovanni Klein leading that inside lane, which is fought back rather nicely here on the inside lane. The 53 of Hudson. Still only 2 lanes. I'm curious when these drivers are going to deem it time to get aggressive enough to form a third one. But still, only two lanes these drivers are trying to work.
Yeah, you can see these guys. John Honeycutt all over the back bumper of Hudson, making him super loose up there, and he's able to hold on to it. But they're coming up on traffic right here, J-Mac. I think it's going to make things very interesting as a 53 dives down low. Looks like they're going to be okay, but that is going to be Hunter Johnson, who was involved in an earlier incident. Really unfortunate, and he is going to need a caution to make his way back on the lead lap.
Yeah, and he's going to need a couple now as he's about to fall 2 laps down. He'll be able to latch on to this lead pack, which is slowly growing. Earlier, it looked like there were about 12 cars that had separated themselves from the field as the rest seemed to get real conservative. But now the field's starting to tighten back up just a little bit. But we're working it. Will the 88 try to make his move? Yes, he will. He will look underneath the 53 for the lead. So the 88 of Doc Holliday taking the lead again after starting on the pole earlier in the race. Hudson now leading that outside lane, and that outside lane actually starting to dissolve just a little bit as they've gotten broken up now 2 and 3 wide, but that inside lane has all the momentum.
Absolutely. And there's one thing that Doc Holliday loves. He loves a good super speedway. He is really good at these types of tracks, so it is no surprise to see him up here. Meanwhile, you have Giovanni on that outside making it really work for him. Enrique on the bottom in that 45 for Cold Dog Racing. So there's a couple of those teammates that are up here. The 22 comes down. Whoa, that is going to be our first caution of the night. Man, oh man.
Yeah. The 22 was not clear at all. The 45, the 63 made a small block, but nothing too crazy. The just not clear, and the 45 gets the worst into that.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Very strong car out there, was making a lot of moves, strong in practice. And, you know, when we were out here for an earlier race, I do believe it was possibly Daytona. I mean, I was practicing with him. Very, very strong driver. I think we're going to see him make his way back up here.
Yeah, the 5 of Edward Scher also got a piece of that, even though he was riding back in about the 15th spot in the race, just trying to ride it out in log laps. He ended up getting involved in that incident, so he's probably going to have to use a faster pair as well as that 45 machine.
Hunter Johnson, unhappy in the chat, says the 4's got one coming. So obviously the incident between him and the 4, so we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, already a little unhappiness going on in the race. You can see a driver going onto pit road. A lot of smoke out here, so we'll see what he can do in order to fix that. Probably gonna be a few that are gonna have to use a fast repair.
Yeah, I'm really curious what the pit strategies are going to be here. If this is, I imagine it's going to be similar to most speedway tracks where tires not going to be really an issue at all. Mostly just pitting for fuel, maybe 2 tires here and there just to speed up the pit stops and get some fresh rubber on, because you might as well when you're taking fuel. But really going to be interesting to see how these drivers approach this race as it goes forward. But a lot of chatter right now as they're heading to pit road.
Absolutely. We're going to have these guys heading on to pit road, as Jordan says. Man, yeah, going to get those fresh tires, fuel, you name it. These guys are going to be busy on pit road as they're coming around. Hunter Johnson is going to be out here, so we'll see what kind of positions he can make up as he is right behind the pace car here. So far, a lap 13 of 75. Pretty good racing. Very, very tight. We've seen both lanes working for these guys. The high side, the low side. A lot of these guys using both lanes, trying to get everything that they can out of the track. Really, really cool to see. We've seen it even 3 wide for the lead at one point, and that is not going to be the end of that. We're going to see a lot more where that came from as these guys are coming off a pit road and getting ready to line back up.
Yeah, that's That's the interesting feature of this racetrack is with the straightaways being so long. It's an incredibly long pit road, so it takes a while for these guys to enter, get to their pit stop, then get back off of it. But they're finally off of pit road. It looks like Doc Holliday managed to win the race off of pit road with Klein behind him, and that looks like that's going to be Joel Conley or Cole Snyder in third spot here.
We have Enrique in the booth here. How's it going out there for you?
I'm in pits. I got wrecked there.
Yeah.
Waiting on my toe here, but hopefully we can get it fixed up and I can get on back.
I'm hoping so. You were out front looking really, really strong, so I'm hoping that we can get you out there really quick and get you back in the top spots out there. You're looking good, though.
Was having fun with my teammates there, but hopefully Cole and Cheese can stay, or Cole and Giovanni, I forgot, we don't go by Xbox names. Hopefully they can stay up front.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of luck to you. Get it out there and get back up there.
All right, thanks.
All right. All right, you heard from Enrique, who unfortunately was involved in the incident with the 22. We'll see if he can get back out there. Jordan, he was saying he's got a lot of damage to repair, but I'm hoping that the fast repairs are working for these guys. I know at one race they said that they were not working, so what damage they had, they just had to sit there and repair. So I'm hoping that's not the case here tonight, because that is going to change the game completely.
Yeah, that was something I noticed in actually an IndyCar official race I did at Darlington. There's a spot on pit road where it'll act like it'll take you out of pit road for a second, even though you're on it. Like your speed disappears and all of that, and in that moment it resets all of your settings, and so that was turning on. That was clicking the box for their fast repair. I have to imagine that that's what it was, because that was a glitch that I noticed. So that's what was happening there. I imagine he's probably trying to save it. That's probably not going to be the last wreck we see, and I imagine these drivers are going to be trying to conserve those fast repairs if they can. So I think he might be just doing that, trying to log some laps, get a few more yellows in, and then try to use his fast repair.
Absolutely. We have John B. Marine out in chat. What's up? Fear the Skull, how are you? I hope you guys are doing good. Spring, how are you? He says, go Honeycutt. So we have a lot of different fans out here. I am absolutely loving it. Yeah, we've had a lot of different lead changes so far, but we have Doc Holliday, who really is doing a phenomenal job out here, and we've seen him in the lead a few times, so he is not done tonight. But take a look at who is behind him. Cold Dog Racing out there, really representing tonight, doing a great job. So we're back to green flag racing right now, and man, these guys are already on the move, and it's going to be a tight one once again.
Yeah, good restart there for Holiday as they go into the corner. The top three, all single file. Now that blue and yellow machine going to pull down into the inside lane. Now they're going to fan out once they get onto the back straight, where they have a lot of room to race. But still, that inside lane, it is nice and well formed. Everyone being real conservative to get down there. Now we'll see a move to the outside. The 88 of Holiday, he pulls a small block, but opts not to go up there with the 63. The 50 follows Holiday and moves into the second spot. Now he's going to look to the outside.
Looks to the outside, but quickly decides to come back down. We'll see what these guys, who they're going to work with. I want to see what these guys do as far as who they decide to team up with. You heard from Doc Holliday earlier. He said, I'm solo, and sometimes that is best. So, when you have too many teammates or too many guys trying to get together, it can really affect your race. So sometimes you just got to go with who you can when you can. And right now he is out front and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like you've said, he loves Superspeedway racing. Even on earlier games that he used to play on, he loves this type of action. And currently leading this field, he's showing that he's pretty all right at it, it would seem. But that 63 of Giovanni Klein running in second, back behind them in about the fifth spot. They're starting to get a little racy, trying to fan out, find some runs, find some momentum, and try to work their way to the front.
Jamie Haynes in that number 58. Things are getting pretty tight back here. They're leaving a little bit of space, but man, oh man, they're starting to go 2 wide from that point on, sometimes 3 wide, as John Honeycutt is really falling back as he was trying to find someone to work with him, but he is now P13 and still moving back as he is trying to settle in and get back in line. That is just how quick super speedway racing is. You don't want to get stuck on the outside or without help. You will quickly move back, and that's what he's finding right now.
Oh, there was a big old move for the lead by Brian Huntley Jr. using the yellow line there. He had a heck of a run, and I really thought he was going to try to push on the 23, which would not have worked out either, but he opted to go to the inside. Cole Snyder just bails and moves up to the outside lane, but I was watching him, about 3 cars up there toward the front, all went into turn 3, get slid up. Some looked tight, others looked loose, so right now a lot of balance issues in the pack going into turn 3.
Absolutely. Doc Holliday bringing it high, bringing it back down low. We'll see who follows suit behind him. The 1 car all over the back bumper of him. That is Brian Huntley Jr. Very, very close, and these guys really fanning out. Look how crowded that track is. Absolutely incredible. We have Austin Reedy making his way up there. We have Kyle Benson, Jamie Haynes, a lot of these guys. We also have Atlanta Racing, so it's getting pretty crowded out there, Jordan.
Yeah, the 88's trying to work each lane and was kind of moving. The 47 got to him and they almost lost it. This is a place where, like we've noted, how big of a run you can get. If you get to that driver and try to push on him, if you push on him too hard, you're going to wreck him. So it's real easy to spin a car out. But meanwhile, we had a change for the lead as the 23 of Cole Snyder moves out ahead of Doc Holliday, so move him to the lead, and that's only a lap or so after getting shuffled out of line by the 47 of Brian Huntley Jr. So a really solid comeback here by Snyder, and that just shows how easily you can work your way through the field here. It's so wide, so much draft, so easy to find runs and find space, but I feel like that's going to come to an end here as these laps continue to go forward and this race continues on.
The only thing that is 100% here is that nothing is constant.
Throttle?
Yeah. Everything is always changing. The lead is changing. The pack is changing. The lines are changing. Nothing is constant here. It is absolutely wild, and that's what I love about it. There's so many different moves you can make, and just look how wild it is back here. Let's take a look at Kyle Benson. A lot of movement back there. You see Hunter Johnson in that 1 car all over the back bumper of the 69 of Kyle Benson. These guys are really pushing, trying to make their way through traffic, and it is a wild ride. I want to go on board with him, and let's go in the cockpit view. You can just see how wild this absolutely gets. These guys are doing really well with leaving some space in between each other. You get in that bubble, and Jordan mentioned it, you will spin them out, so they have to. There's no other choice. They really have to leave a space for each other. Otherwise, if you get in that bubble and you disturb the airflow, you will get them extremely loose, which here is not a good thing. It's going to cause the big one.
Yeah, you don't want to be loose. You don't want to get tight. And it's just so tough when you have all this air around you, getting moved around. You have a bunch of drivers, you're just trying to figure everything out, and it just gets incredibly tough to manage everything. But the 5 of Edward Scher there in the middle of the pack, he works his way, splits the 11 and the 3 machine, and he's still continuing that run, working his way forward.
Absolutely. Enrique is still 2 laps down. We have Hunter down 1 lap. I'm hoping that we can get these guys back up here on the lead lap. Enrique was on such an incredible run. I want to see him do good out here. I mean, he just had a great car, really fast one. But we're on board with Edward Scher at the moment, who has had an incredible season. I want to take a look at points real quick. You can see it here. He is 2nd in points, so doing a fantastic job. But man, oh man, it is tight, very tight out here. And Andrew Wisdom, I do believe, he is not out here tonight, and he is the leader in points. So very interesting to see.
Yeah, what else is interesting to see? They are now 2 by 2 by 2. The one gonna make it 3 wide up there for the lead. Who was the one gonna go with? The one is currently a lap down, trying to get that lap back the good old-fashioned way. Has worked his way back up to the front. He is leaning on that 47 machine. It looks like the one car on mine. I don't know about yours, but that's going to be tough to call here as the race goes forward. But the 47 of Brian Huntley Jr. on the outside lane with the lapped car of Hunter Johnson behind him. Those two working to get around the 88 of Doc Holliday and the 58 of Jamie Haynes as they work the backstretch and go down into turn 3.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely incredible, getting so close there. Really cutting that close as the 88 and the 1 going side by side. We have Hunter Johnson directly behind him, and I'll tell you what, Hunter is an aggressive super speedway driver. He is going to push you as much as he can. So we'll see him try to get those guys out there out front. As you see, it just happened right there. Very close, but Brian Huntley Jr. is now the leader.
Yeah, Huntley Jr. in the leader, and that was on that outside. A huge run out of turn 4. Oh, the 88 leans on the 1. Nowhere for the 1 to go. Really, he has to pop out a line just basically not to cause a huge wreck. The 88 shunts the 1 out of line, and there is a yellow for an incident on the track.
What can we do to try to help it if we do get another restart?
Looks like John Honeycutt is involved right here. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, got turned by the 5 car. Yeah, nothing he could do right there, unfortunately. Gonna have some damage, gonna have to repair. Man, FTR having a rough night tonight out here. We'll see if we can get them back up there. But Brian Huntley Jr. still in the lead. This is lap 26 of 75 and our second caution of the night.
Yeah, sure. Just got into his left rear there. Nothing the 50 did wrong. The 23 also got a lot of damage, and that had to take evasive action. And once you let off the steering in those corners, it's real hard to gather the car back. He pounded that outside wall down, so he's going to have a pretty significant amount of damage. But other than that, it seemed like most everybody was able to get out of that unscathed. Hearing some drivers talking about checking up, so there must have been another little bit of damage. It's looking like Sammy Harrell and Michael York got into it at the very back of that wreck.
I want to bring in Atlanta Racing. It's Eliza in the booth. How are ya? Atlanta, do we have ya? I think he's gone. All right, we'll put him back in his team. I was gonna ask him how he's doing out there. He's usually in the booth, so it's fun to see an announcer out there. Little damage on the front of his car, so I'm curious if he is going to go in and get that repaired. But pretty clean race here, Jordan, so far. Second caution of the night and 26 laps, so I think these guys are doing pretty good, knock on wood.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Third of the race through, only a couple of yellows, so a really solid job by these drivers so far. Hunter Johnson going to take the wave around here, so that's actually going to put him back on the lead lap. We only have 1 car lap down, and that's Enrique Canones, who is still 2 down, opted to repair his damage rather than take the fast repair. So that's put him down behind the 8 ball, but still, all 26 other cars on the track are on the lead lap. So another couple of quick yellows here, he can get a lap down, and then that puts him in a great position to get back on the lead lap.
A mad rush off of pit road. Let's take a look. Jason Keffer is going to be leading us off to green. Justin Mons, those two are teammates. So we'll see them coming out together. And you know, this is not the first time we've seen them stay out. So with those guys, with Keffer Mons Racing, they're obviously doing a strategic move right here. We're going to see if it pays off for them.
Yeah, that's it's not the first time this season we've seen them make the same pit or have the same pit strategy. So definitely gonna be interesting to see how this works out. The only way it's really gonna hurt you here is on fuel. If fuel is all an issue, maybe they kind of feel like there's gonna be some yellows here, so they're getting up front. Which normally, if you think there's gonna be yellows, you go to the back. So my logic there is incredibly flawed. I don't know. I think this is probably a good move. Get some track position, stay up front. the same group of leaders. We've had a lot of lead changes, a lot of drivers been able to take the lead, but it's basically been our same group of about 5 or 6 that have been able to leapfrog each other. So I imagine that's what they're thinking. They're going to get up front and they're going to try to stay up front.
Absolutely. These guys are looking good out here. I'm loving these paint schemes. You guys, we're still having guys coming in, rooting for their team. We have Haynes, we have the 50 car, John Honeycutt, we have Keffer, we have Combat B saying the 5, Combat what's up? We have Help Desk saying Keffer. Yeah, it is awesome out here. So we'll see what these guys can do. I see that logo out there and that awesome sponsor. These guys are doing great. So I want to see what Keffer and Mons do. We've seen them stay out. We've talked about it. Let's see how it plays out for him. As Jordan said, it's really about fuel for these guys. So we'll see how it plays out. Doc Holliday, I'm taking a look. He is currently sitting 6th. He was our pole sitter. He's looking really good tonight. We'll see if he can make his way back up through and up to the lead. We've seen him there a few times so far. You see the 58 car of Jamie Haynes. I'm trying to give everyone some love out here. I love these paint schemes and these guys. A couple of new guys out here, so it's cool to see them. Sean Burke, another and newer name out in the 223. So doing good out front. We'll see what he can do.
I have a feeling we're getting to that point in the race that the intensity is going to start to pick up, and these drivers are not going to take it very easy on each other. There's the 223 machine of Sean Burke. Haven't seen him really all race. We're about to go green here. This is going to be interesting. I'm on the edge of my seat.
It's gonna be crazy.
Green flag.
I don't even know what to think for these guys, but yeah, it is not going to be as patient as we've seen. I'm on board with Sean Burke out here in the 223. He is directly on the bumper of the guy in front of him, and this is how close it is. We've got Mons in front of him, Keffer leading the race right now. It's so tight, and you can just see, you really can't see a whole lot when you're in the car. You really have to be dependent on the guy in front of you and trust that they know where they're going and that there's not something crazy happening in front of him, because there's not much you can see out there.
It's going to be real tough for this field to work to pass these two, because I imagine they're going to work with each other, and now that kind of puts the drivers behind them in a tough spot, because they're wanting to push on each other to get runs. But when you're in the middle of the pack, you can't push on that driver in front of you, because they're likely trying to check up to stay off the guy in front of them. If you try to push on them while they're pushing on somebody, you, as I like to call, put them on a spit, lift all 4 tires off the track, and at that point there's zero control of their race car. So it's really going to be tough for these guys to manage here while these two are working the field here. But right now, Keffer looking really strong out front, about a car length of advantage over the 41 of Mons, as that outside lane trying to get formed, and I believe that is the 50 of Honeycutt or the 17 of Sugar. I can't tell. Or
Yeah.
O'Brien, I mean.
That is 17
O'Brien.
of Matt O'Brien, who has had a very solid run lately. The 88 of Doc Holliday moving up directly next to the 69, and he had to back off a little bit as to not make any contact with them. That could have been a dangerous spot, but they are still off and running 2 wide all the way back through the field. And I know somebody mentioned earlier, I think I can get 4 wide out here. I've been there in the 4 wide. It was a little scary, but somehow we survived. I wouldn't recommend it for all the time. I can tell you that.
But if you think about it, each seam is about a car width wide. So you could probably fit about 6-7 cars wide down this racetrack. So, if they get a little ambitious here, anything is possible.
Well, I mean, 6-7 wide. You're getting crazy there, Jordan.
It's a crazy race. It's a crazy night.
I know.
Might as well go full throttle here.
These guys are being a lot more cautious. Titan says everyone is so spread out. like I said earlier, you really have to give these guys some space. There's some that if their teammates, like the 22 of Keffer and Mons and the 41,
Oh, yellow
and
in the
we
back.
have a yellow.
Any comments there, bud?
Edward Sure involved. Let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, these guys getting off. I'm trying to show the camera. There we go. There we go. Yeah, someone got into the wall, got clipped, and a few cars collected. Really unfortunate to see. That's going to bring out our third caution of the night.
Yeah, it's the 63. It looked like of Giovanni Klein might have gotten up into the 69 of Kyle and Benson. And Benson trying to make a little bit of an aggressive move to the outside, look to the inside. The 53 kind of blocked low a little bit, went high. You can't really block twice, but God, that happened just so slowly. It just kind of got hooked together, and then that caused a massive pileup.
Absolutely. We do have a couple of guys on pit road, including Michael York in that Skyline car. We also have Edward Sure, who is out there. And let me take a look at who else. Clayton Duncan, who is also on pit road. Some of these guys coming off, able to use the fast repair there, which is really going to help. Some of them are already out of that. So unfortunately, they're just going to have to sit there and get that repaired.
Yeah, I think that's mostly everyone that's pitting is pitting to fix their race cars right now with damage. The 22 and the 41, they're looking like they're going to come to pit road here. Are they going to? I think they are. So that's an interesting call by those two to pit another lap later. Maybe they're inside their fuel window, and this is going to be their last pit stop.
It's going to be interesting. Do you think it's really going to be the last pit stop of the night?
I have no idea. I don't know how far these guys can go on fuel. That was something I didn't test. I didn't think to test drive because I didn't think the balance would be, that big of a thing to talk about. But now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have made a fuel run so I know how far these guys can go. But, I imagine here on lap 34 with about 41 to go, there'll be about 40 to go when they take the green flag. So maybe 39. That feels like that's within a fuel window for a full fuel NASCAR Cup car. So I think that's the idea here. They waited a lap. They're going to the back. They're going to maybe save a little fuel, try to stay out of the wrecks, and that might be the last time we see those two drivers on pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be a mad dash out here. We have the 223 of Sean Burke going to be out here. He's coming out. We have Jason Keffer and Justin Mons coming off a pit road. So a quick stop for them. Matt O'Brien going to be in fourth. Brian Huntley Jr. coming out as the top five. And our pole sitter, Doc Holliday, coming out in seventh. I do want to give a quick shout out to Hall for the 500 biddies from earlier. I kept meaning to say something, but I keep forgetting. You know how I am. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Tom, what's up? How was everyone's race tonight? Hope everything went.
Speaking of Tom, I'd like to give a shout out to Justin Brooks and Josh Harbin, who won the two races tonight.
Nice.
In the old summer heat series over on NASCAR Heat. So congratulations to those guys. And I caught a little bit of old Tom out there racing, and he did a nice job.
Awesome. Tom always does a great job. P7, let's go. 17 is your pick now, Combat. You switch drivers. Oh my goodness. Help Desk says, little known fact, you can cheer for someone to win the race in any lap. And earlier, I'm going to go back because I'm pretty sure you said something. And I can't find it now, of course.
What? What did I say?
No, Help Desk in the chat. He said something like you can't win the race on lap 32, and now he's saying...
Oh, you can.
Something to the effect, but of course I can't find it now, so, I know the 5-car got in a wreck again. Really unfortunate out here. Edward Sure is not having the best night for him. That is for sure. It's Superspeedway racing, guys. You're either going to love the night or you're just going to go home completely angry and ready to move on to the next race. It's just how it goes. It's crazy out there. You know, I personally would absolutely love it, even if I did get wrecked. Maybe. Don't quote me on that though.
A little cleanup. Apparently, everyone pit. I guess the drivers that were hitting pit road were the wrecked race cars, and pit road might have been closed at that moment. That might have been the thing because Keffer and Mons are second and third right now. So perhaps they came in and everyone came in behind them. I wasn't really looking at the rest of the field. I was looking at those two forwards. So I think everyone pit during that cycle or during this yellow flag.
Yeah, it does look that way. Sean Burke, we'll see how he does out in the lead as pace car is off, and he will be leading the group back to green flag racing, lap 35 of 75. Here we go. Great start for these guys. Pretty equal out here. The one kind of falls back a little bit. The 41 fell back a little bit from the 223, but no issue right here. The 43 looks like he's trying to move down, but these guys are off and running.
Yep, off and running. The 223 going to use that inside lane, wrap the yellow line as everyone's trying to get up to speed. And before they get up to speed, you can have that advantage on the inside, but the 22 still, even without these cars up to full song, gets shot out of a cannon on that outside lane out of turn 2. The 17 of Matthew O'Brien going to push him past Burke there for the lead. The 41 of Mons was really wondering if he was gonna move around Burke, because Burke seemed like he was losing some momentum, opted to stay behind him. That's going to allow Burke to stay in third, but O'Brien now looks to the outside of Keffer, trying to test the waters to see if he can make that pass for the lead.
Yeah, these two have a little bit of a gap between them and the guys behind him that is quickly going to close. As O'Brien goes to the outside, we have the 22 still on the inside leading the crew here. We'll see what they can do, but man, oh man, very tight as Matthew O'Brien is trying to make his way around. He's got a win this season. He's trying to make another one tonight.
Yeah, O'Brien using that high line, getting a lot of distance. The 22 can't come up and side draft him, but Keffer seemed pretty content to just stay on the yellow line. He gets some draft from Burke, and they're able to make a lot of ground up on that inside lane. Matthew O'Brien really had no help there on the outside, lost a ton of momentum. Meanwhile, Keffer has Burke and Sammy Harrell behind him, pushing him, so that inside lane wins that battle for now. Oh, the 223 of Burke looks to the inside real late on entry. Keffer kind of moved up and gave him that space and then had to pretty much bail out. Otherwise, they were going to wreck. Now O'Brien going to use that loss of momentum to take it 3 wide, going to split them, trying to take the lead.
Look at this crew. These guys are just absolutely moving. 2 very well-formed lines, but man, oh man, you get one guy who gets a little wiggly down there, and it really messes things up, and these guys really scramble to try to find a spot and make their way through. Matt O'Brien on the outside. Still, we have the 223 on the inside. These guys are super close.
Oh, the 11 of Reedy able to cross over the 223 of Burke. Burke looked like he was going to move to the outside lane. Okay, well, I'm going to go to the inside lane. Took that spot from him, so that's going to move Burke back to third. Now Reedy trying to stalk the 17 of O'Brien. Meanwhile, that inside lane, the 43 using all the racetrack he can. He goes down, puts his lefts below the yellow line, move Harrell past Burke, and now Reedy working back and forth with O'Brien trying to shadow him from front.
Yeah, these guys looking really good. The top 4 and a single file line. We see Hunter Johnson back up here in the mix. He says, I'm back, baby. He is back in action, and Austin Reedy trying to go for the lead here. Let's take a look at this. These guys at some points 3 wide. You can see them. Austin Reedy's got a nose out for the lead. Matt O'Brien on the outside. Doc Holliday taken in second. Hunter Johnson trying to stay in P3. These guys are off and moving.
Yeah, no yellow line rule out there tonight, it doesn't seem, because a lot of these drivers are using all of the straightaway that they can. As wide as the track is, it's even wider down there on that apron, and they're trying to use that to keep up their runs. The 88 moving up to that second spot now. He's going to try to work over Reedy. He pops out to the outside just a little bit, falls back in line. Is he going to try to use this run, or is he going to check up to stay behind him? It looks like he's going to check up and stay behind him, give the 11 a little bit of a push down the straightaway. The 223 pops out of, or no, that was the 1 of Hunter Johnson. He was 2 laps down at one point in this race. He was in third, but he gives a lane to the 223 of Burke, and now he's going to fall back through the field.
Man on a mission, but he's on the outside with no help. We have some guys back there a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to fall back several positions and still falling. We saw that with John Honeycutt earlier. The 41, the 22 are back together. We'll see them try to make their way up through the field. It is just so close out here. So much action. I guarantee these guys are going to be a little tired after the race. It takes a lot from you mentally and just trying to keep this out here and keep out of trouble.
Yeah, this is definitely a mentally taxing track. You have to, you're constantly watching your mirrors, constantly watching out front of you, and just trying to work your throttle, trying to make sure you don't hit anybody. It's a real tough place to get around while in a pack, which is how most of these large tracks are. Talladega, Daytona, you get out there by yourself, it's real easy to drive. But then, and we have a spin, a couple of cars involved.
Wow, let's see if we can take a look at what happened with that. Got hit by the guy behind him, and that just completely spun him out. I'm not sure how. I feel like he had a lot of speed going into the bumper of the 223. Very interesting. I don't know if he slowed up to check up. Man, tough break right there for Sean Burke.
Yeah, Burke, he looks like he just lost a lot of momentum there going into the corner. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe missed the line. But yeah, he really checked up in the one. No checkup out of the not the 1, but the 47 of Huntley. Huntley, 0 checkup out of him going into the corner, gets into the 223. Not sure if he thought he was going to help him or what there, but ended up turning the 223, and several cars, the 58, the 62, a lot of drivers involved in this one.
Absolutely. Element, Todd, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining. Rangers, how are you guys? Element, you're on break. Nice. Todd, thank you for tuning in. It is crazy out here. 4th caution of the night, pretty clean considering. I mean, this race, this track can be extremely crazy. I'm curious, Jordan, who are we going to see stay out? Who is going to go in? We're coming down. I know Combat said 27 laps is kind of pushing it. So it looks like we'll see a lot of these guys coming in.
Yeah, I'm really surprised how often these drivers are pitting. Tires must be a little bit more of an issue than I figured, or they're just working to keep as much fuel in it as possible. But either way, really surprised that basically every yellow flag we've had, the entire field has come to pit road.
Yeah, what's going on with... We have a driver missing the hood of his car, backing up, and then just disappears back on his pit stall right there. Wow, that was interesting. Alejandro, thank you so much for the follow.
I believe that was the 62 of Joel Conley, and I have a bit of a glitch going on. Is that we actually have him in the lead of this race somehow, for some reason for me, even though he was involved in that accident. Not really sure how or why that has worked out the way it has, but I imagine that'll correct itself here before too long, but very interesting.
Absolutely. On my screen, we do have Doc Holliday back in the lead. This is his race right here. He has gone back to the lead several times, wanting to get his first win of the season here in PSES. So let's see if we can make it happen for him. We have Austin Reedy in second. We have Brian Huntley Jr., who's out here in third. Kyle Benson in fourth, and Justin Mon's going to round out the top 5. Meanwhile, we've mentioned it a few times, but Hunter Johnson, who went down, was it 2 laps or just 1? But either way, he's back up here almost in the top 5 again. These guys trying to get lined back up. It is going to be a wild start. The more this race goes on, the more crazy it's going to be with the moves and how these guys are 2 and 3 wide. Don't expect to see a lot of patience and a lot of give. There's going to be a lot of take and a lot of guys trying to get positions and move forward. So this is definitely not going to be our final caution, in my opinion.
I don't see that happening. 30 laps to go at when they go green here. There's definitely a lot of opportunity for some action, a lot of opportunity for some wrecks, and these drivers are going to slowly get more and more and more annoyed with each other. They're going to be more worried about getting their runs and whatnot. But on the other hand, the field is starting to thin out just a little bit. Only 24 cars right now of our 27 starters being shown on the lead lap, and I think a couple of those might be glitched, so it might be more like 22. So we're starting to see these guys drop a little bit as we go. Going to be interesting to see if the smaller numbers play into the end of this race at all. But we're going to go green, and it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be crazy. This is at the point of the race where I'm getting a little nervous. I'm getting excited. I have 4 drivers out there, so I want to see what they can do. But man, oh man, as a driver, if I'm out there, I'm just thinking, just survive. Get a good points day to help me in points. I just want to cross the line. I don't want to be wrecked out. So right now, you're trying to survive. That's what it's all about. So we'll see what they can do, but man, oh man, it's about to get very, very interesting. Tom, thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Element, are you talking about Coinbase? You're cracking me up, I swear. Pace car is off, and I'm going to go on board with Justin Mons in the 41 as we go on restart for iRacing Superspeedway. You can see Justin Mons already on it, has a great restart right underneath, and he's directly behind the 1 car. So close, these guys are pretty tight, and it's about to get pretty exciting out here.
The 11 cleared himself. He was not clear. The 11 tried to get down. The 88 did not lift for him, and that was an incredible save by Austin Reedy. Doc Holliday almost going to be able to take the lead from that, but the 63 of Giovanni Klein, he's going to benefit greatly from that. He restarted in the 13th spot. He is currently in the 6th spot, looking to take 6th, and from Honeycutt, and he'll move past the 69 as well, so he'll move into the top 5.
Meanwhile, Hunter Johnson has taken over the lead with Matt O'Brien in 2nd. We have Doc Holliday falling back in 3rd. These guys in a single file line, they're going right underneath Hunter Johnson. 3 wide for the lead. Doc Holliday takes it back over.
Yeah, Johnson was trying to kind of play both sides there and gave enough room to the 88. The 88 took that run, was able to get to the inside. Now the double ones, the 1 of Mark Johnson and the 47 of Huntley. Huntley pushes him out there and then ditches him, gets back in line. So that's going to move the 1 of Johnson back to that 4th spot if he can get back in line. It doesn't look like he can, as the 41 of Mons is going to get there.
Yeah, no friends are helping him out here right now. Hunter Johnson, this is not the first time he's been stuck on the outside and is going to fall back. He's got his teammate John Honeycutt directly next to him, letting him in line there. So that is where he's going to fall in place. Teammates next to each other. So we'll see what they can do. Actually, 3 of them. We have Michael York, Hunter Johnson, and John Honeycutt in 7th, 8th, and 9th. We'll see what they can do, but Austin Reedy, who had a fantastic save earlier with that, he's back in P2. Woo! What is that?
The 80. Everybody went down into turn 3 and slid up the track. Everybody got super tight in there, and the 81 slid up in front of the 41, and I don't know how they didn't all die. But the 41 was able to check up just enough to not turn the 81 car. But yeah, that whole line of cars went into turn 3 with a ton of momentum and just misjudged the corner and slid up. I'm telling you, 5 or 6 of them did the same dang thing.
That is wild. I'm thinking some of these guys are just getting a little tired, and I'm telling you, you go into those turns and you're close to somebody, it is going to drag you up. As Austin Reedy is going to look to the outside to try to make a pass for the lead, we have Doc Holliday almost all over that apron, was able to hold it. The one car directly behind him, all over his back bumper. I'm really surprised he's not getting loose. A lot of movement, Jordan, as these guys are really switching it up.
Yeah, they're working hard. Huntley pushing hard on the back bumper of Holiday. The 11 with an aggressive block down in the inside lane. The 1 checks up for him. Now the 11 moves back out to the outside in front of the 33 of Werner. And we've seen that turn 1 doesn't seem to be as big of an issue, but turn 3, these drivers are having a difficult time judging when to get into the corner. We saw a couple of laps ago, there was almost a massive accident. We saw the 33 get onto the apron going into the 3 the previous lap. We'll see what happens here. A lot cleaner for everyone this time through. But right now, the top 9 or so have managed to get single file as they work around the lap car of Edward Shirley.
Yeah, you can see how close it is right there. Just guys all over the back bumper of each other. And we have somebody, the 45, spinning out onto pit road. I do believe that is Enrique, so really unfortunate. He's had a really tough night tonight, but such a strong car. I mean, that's just Superspeedway racing. It can get pretty tough out there. Doc Holliday still in the lead. Brian Huntley Jr. making his name known out there tonight as he is still P2 right now. Hunter Johnson made his way back up through the field, sitting P3. He's got a couple of teammates behind him, so we'll see if that comes into play later on. Meanwhile, they're passing the 22 on the outside. I see you out there. Oh my goodness. I feel like, Jordan, these guys are starting to spread out just a little bit. You see a single file line. We have the top 3 spread out from 4th on back. We'll see if that changes at all. They will close that up pretty easily, as they just did right there. So pretty easily single file. We'll see how long that stays, though, as we have 24 to go. Hunter all over the back bumper of the 1 car. That gets him a little loose. Hunter and John Honeycutt move to the outside. Hunter dives it back down. Really close call right there.
Yeah, that the 1 had to ditch his teammate, the 50 of Honeycutt. Honeycutt slides back a couple of spots, but is able to get back in line on that inside lane. And we've heard chatter that the 47 of Brian Huntley Jr. been real aggressive with the pushing, and that's not bad if you can't wreck him, but he's also going to have to be cognizant of his engine temps whenever you're pushing somebody, get no air to the radiator. That water temp is going to go sky high. So that's one thing to watch for that we really haven't talked about all night. When you're in the pack, is you have to manage those temps, keep a distance on that driver in front of you, and pop out every once in a while to cool that car down.
Absolutely. I mean, once you're hitting up to 270, you really want to back it down, get some fresh air out there. You see Hunter goes on the outside, trying to cool that engine off possibly, or testing the waters, trying to see if anyone will go with them. Right now, everyone's kind of laying back, surprisingly. Doc Holliday kind of testing the waters, going up high, defending his position down low, getting a huge push from the 1, and you were just talking about the aggressiveness of the 1 car. Doc Holliday is not going to be too happy.
Yeah, Huntley being real aggressive, had a massive run there, and probably could have checked up there, decided to drive into the 88 there. The 88 did a nice job of holding on to it, but I think also a lot of these drivers are popping out of line to see the corner better. I think that's something, the 1 that we've seen kind of pop to the outside lane as they get to the corner to try to navigate it, try to get a better angle for the corner. We saw the 1 miss it there as they went into the corner. He's able to get down back in front of the 47 of Huntley. We'll see what happens. Oh, there's a wreck in the back. It looks like the 50 is involved. Several drivers involved.
Let's see if we can get a look at what happened here. Justin Mons involved. Let's see if... Oh! Yeah. John Honeycutt got clipped. We have Justin Mons in the mix also. Really unfortunate. This is getting down to the wire, guys. I mean, we're talking about you got to take everything you can get with under 20 to go. These guys are going to be going for every position that they can grab.
Yeah, it looked. Oh wow, yeah. The 41 just kind of came down on the 50, trying to side draft him, and just honestly, it was a little bit of looked like a little bit of bubble involved in that one, or as the iRacing kids say, net code involved. But yeah, they looked like the 41 turned the 50, and then from there it was on.
Absolutely. A lot of strategy is going to come into play at this point on. We have Hunter Johnson out here in the lead. Doc
Big
Holliday.
Hit for the 14. Goodness gracious.
Let's take a look at who that was. Ellie Mellinson. Let's see if we can take a look. I want to see this replay again. You have John Honeycutt who gets clipped. Man, oh man, really, really tough out there. Yeah. That is how it goes. I'm telling you, you're either going to be super excited tonight when it's over, or you're just going to be very, very frustrated. And I want to take a look at the schedule next week. We are headed, where are we headed to? Charlotte. So it's going to be another great race. This is one of my favorite tracks on here. So I'm excited to see them hit the road out there at Charlotte. Then we're going to be headed to North Wilkesboro. So some wild races coming up. And after that, Jordan, we have the Texas All-Star Race, which is going to be an absolute fun race.
Yay! Like Texas. Actually, I don't think I've done a race at Texas. Oh no, that's right. I did an IndyCar race there. That seems to be a popular refrain for me. But I'm still new at iRacing, so I haven't covered every track in a NASCAR car yet. But Texas, really weird, really flat in one end and really high banked in the other. It's an odd place, but it's my hometown, and it's really cool that we're hosting the All-Star race in real life, and that we'll be hosting it for old PSES.
Absolutely. Titan says, someone using Ricky Carmichael, old saying, if you can't pass him, wreck him. Well, let's hope that's not the case here. It's so tight. And like I said, if you're on the outside and you're trying to bump draft somebody, or side draft somebody, it gets so incredibly close. You have to really give that space. You can't get too close. That bottom line can really get shoved out. So it's just something that you really have to watch. And on the outside, the side drafting here, you just got to watch how close you get. It can be very, very bad, as we saw there. Jordan Enrique Canones in that 45. Man, oh man, tough night for him after a strong showing. You see him out there directly behind the pace car. He'll be trying to get a lap back, but Michael York, he's going to be leading us off into the green in the 81 car. Skyline Chili out there, so really cool to see. A great strategy call. We'll see if it pays off for him.
My ticker is all sorts of. Oh, now it's showing him out in the lead. My goodness, my ticker was being goofy all night long, and yeah, that's weird. But now it seems to be working, which is good. That's nice. So yeah, Michael E. York out in the lead. Doc Holliday in second. Robert Reynolds, haven't seen him really all race long. He was in third there. And then John Honeycutt, Mark Johnson, Brian Huntley. Some familiar names that we've seen toward the front, but couple of new faces that we haven't seen all race.
Absolutely. Michael York decides to take the outside directly in front of teammate John Honeycutt. We'll see how that plays out for him. Doc Holliday is going to have the inside line. So, yeah, he's been out front all this race. I'm impressed with Holliday there, so we'll see if he can't bring home a win for tonight. Man, these cars are really getting dirty out here. You can see all the dirt and all the stuff they've been through tonight. A lot of action out here on iRacing Superspeedway. 18 to go. This race is coming down to the wire. Still much more racing to be had here. We'll see what happens once that pace car clears off the track, but I'm getting nervous, you guys. Let me know. Who do you think is going to win? We have Go Honeycut out here, and we have Titan says, these guys have way more patience than I do. Yeah. You know, when it comes down to it, you really have to bring out the patience. If you don't, it's not going to pay off for you. So it's something that all these guys have to stay in tune with.
Green flag.
50 of John Honeycutt all over Michael York as these guys are trying to draft. Doc Holliday on the bottom with, we have him with a few guys out here pushing him. So we'll see how they work with that. But man, 3 wide for a second. Absolutely crazy out there. Down to 2 wide.
Yeah, the 81 got a nice start. Started to use that outside lane. The Brian Huntley finally got one of them. John Honeycutt goes for a ride, hits the wall hard. They keep it straight. It looks like, so no yellow flag at the moment. But that is a tough break for Honeycutt, who worked his way up to the front here. Had actually was second across the line on this restart. So unfortunate happening for him. Meanwhile, Michael York and Doc Holliday still your leaders out front.
Man, really tough break for him. Brian being super aggressive tonight. Gonna have a couple of unhappy drivers with him. But Michael York still in the lead with Doc Holliday directly behind him. We have Robert Reynolds in that 10 car. In third, we have Hunter Johnson, who has been a huge story tonight, being a lap down and then coming back. Gonna be in the top 5. And Sean Burke is gonna round out the top 5 in that number 223.
Be hitting 15 to go here at the line, and this is going to be an interesting point in the race. When will drivers decide to start getting aggressive? If you're in that top 5, you have to like where you're at currently. But if you're on further back, you're going to want to improve that position. So you're going to have a lot of drivers on different agendas here as far as where they want to be in the field, working their way forward. But still, this group of there's a group of about 12 or so on top of each other, and then after that a lot of gap back between these drivers. So I think there might be a lot of drivers who might be damaged, and there might be some more who are deciding to stay out of the mess right now, anticipating a yellow and wanting to be outside of it.
Absolutely. John Honeycutt falling back to P19 after getting involved in an incident with another driver. So unfortunate to see, but we'll see if he can make his way back up as we have 14 to go. So, man, I don't know what's going to happen here, but you know that there's going to be several more lead changes as this is coming down to the finish. Doc Holliday still in second, trying to determine where to take that car. Does he have any help to take it on the outside? I've seen him take a peek out there several times. He's going to make it stick this time, see if he's got any takers. Hunter Johnson moves directly behind his teammate Michael York, and we see Doc Holliday go back to the lead.
Yeah, Holliday back to the lead, but Robert Reynolds had pushed him up there, not able to get clear of the 81 of York, so he's going to be the leader of that outside lane. Will he be able to maintain that position? Will he be able to get down there, or will he get drop kicked? Meanwhile, the 81 of York, he's going to move to the outside of the 88 of Holliday, gets to his outside, pulls the side draft, and goes to that outside lane, using a lot of racetrack there. Will he be able to stay clear of the 88? He did. He pulled down in front of him. Now the one of Mark Johnson is going to be behind him. They're going to try to push together as the 88 working that. Is he going to stay in line? Nope. He's going to go to the middle. He's all by himself, but he might not need anybody. No, he is not going to get clear. He tried to clear himself. No way he could have gotten down there, but now the 10 machine moves in line behind him.
They were 3 wide for the lead with Hunter Johnson on the outside with no help whatsoever. He now has help, and we have 3 lanes moving as we are 12 to go. Take a look at this race, guys. What an incredible race. 3 wide as we're coming down to the wire here. Michael York in that 81 still out in the lead. The 58 of Jamie Haynes in second. We have Giovanni Klein in that 63 in third. Man, oh man, the top line is really losing it though, Jordan.
Yeah, they're losing it. They're going to have to work around a lap car there. Kind of a tense moment while they were already 3 wide, but they get around without any incident. And we have a car up into the wall. I think that's Holliday. Gets stuffed into the wall. sounds like a bump draft gone bad in the center of the corner or on corner entry. No, it was the 11 car got the apron. It looked like on corner entry, slid up into it. That's going to be unfortunate for a driver who has led a large portion of this race.
Absolutely. A really unfortunate ending to his race as we have 11 to go. And we're going to need another caution to bunch these guys back up and give them another shot, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The way these guys are driving and the aggressiveness, I would not be surprised if we get another caution. Titan says, start getting aggressive? You're right. These guys have been super aggressive, and we've seen it on track as we have teammates, Giovanni Klein. We have a couple of these guys out here working together, trying to find their way up front, but this pack has died down in the front. A lot of cars have since been involved in incidents. Still quite a crew up front, but it has definitely died down.
Yeah, it's almost like they saw the incident with the 88, and we see back there in the back the 11 once again getting tight going into turn 1 this time. They almost slides up into the 1 machine of Hunter Johnson. That really slowed back that group. The 11 really struggling with the balance of that race car, but like you said, the field getting single file there. It's almost like they saw the incident with the 88 and decided it was time to take it calm. There's still a decent amount of racing. There will be 9 laps to go when they hit the line here.
Aw, man. Let me know in chat, who do you see winning? We have Michael York in the lead here with the 58 of Jamie Haynes in second. So close. Let's take a look at this. Tyler Werner, he is out here in the 33 directly behind Klein in that 63. Just single file all the way back. Quite the train that these guys have moving. It looks like York is very comfortable out in the lead. We have some guys trying to push each other and trying to get to the outside. We have Michael York trying to dive it back down low. It is getting very tight as these guys are moving around.
Yeah, he saw I believe that the 33 machine go to that high line, went to block that run, then immediately got back down in front of the 58 of Jamie Haynes. So trying to work both lines, but that outside lane is starting to get worked up. Now the 33, he moves down to the bottom, but that allows the 53 of James Hudson to take the lead of that line. Now it looks like that is the 63 of Joe Bar. No, that is Tyler Werner up there. Or that's the 23 of Cole Snyder. No, it's not. It's the 33 of Tyler Werner. There's like 4 cars that look exactly alike out there.
I know they do.
But yeah, there's a Chase Elliott almost machine out there leading that outside lane in front of the 53 of James Hudson. There you go. Nailed it.
Nailed it. The 81 still in the lead, but man, oh man, they are trying to get that outside to line up, but with only 3 drivers out there, I don't know how much they're going to be able to help that as they try to bring it back down. We'll see if they can make it work. The 33 directly next to the 1, and they're trying to bring that up, trying to give help, but they stay down low. Man, this is crazy. 7 to go, you guys. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm nervous out here. I'm excited for him, but it is getting wild. That top line getting super loose as he is just giving him all, trying to push him up to the front.
Now we get to a very, very interesting point of the race. When do you time your move? When do you work your way forward? These drivers, they kind of fan out on corner exit, but I think that's just trying to let the car unwind, let the steering unwind, and to get straight for the straightaway. But right now, the first car that has popped out is the 1 machine of Hunter Johnson. The front 7 still single file for the time being. When do you time that run? When do you make your move? You know me, I always like to make it early so that you have multiple shots at it, and you know, you get maybe if it's successful, then you get to play defense, you get to lead some laps. But there are a lot of drivers who like to wait until the very last minute, and if you do, you better get it right that first time, or else you're not going to get a second chance.
Absolutely. If it's me out there, I've done a lot of these races. I'm waiting for the final turn. I do not want to fail and move back. So at least if I wait till the final turn, I'm not losing as many spots. So I'm going to take a peek. I'm going to communicate to the guys around me, say, hey, are you with me or are you not going with me? And I'm going to fly to the outside and try to make a move for the win. I don't know if it's going to pay off.
All of those drivers that told you they're with you, they're staying in line and going right by you.
It's very possible. It's paid off. Every time I've done it, I've won, knock on wood, but I've been in the second spot when I've been able to do that. From third on, I haven't had much luck. So, you know, we'll see what they do. Jamie Haynes is in that second spot. We'll see if he makes a move. Giovanni Klein, Cole Snyder, I do believe those guys are teammates. There's no way they're going to sit there in third and fourth. They're going to make a move.
Yeah, but they're probably going to wait, but they have behind them the 47 of Huntley, who has ruffled some feathers tonight with his bump drafting. He's actually going to get inside the 23 of Cole Snyder. You see back there, a car slides up high, is able to hold on to it, keep it out of the wall. It did a nice job of doing that. Not sure what happened there to cause that, but sliding to the back of this group. But meanwhile, the 81 of Michael York still leading, the 58 of Jamie Haynes still in that second spot with Giovanni Klein and Brian Huntley behind him.
A couple of teammates behind him, and he's got no help up front. I'm curious if these guys are going to plan to make a move. 4 to go, so you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Another teammate up high. We'll see if he's going to come down to try to help these guys. Jordan, what do you see?
Oh, I thought there's some contact. Oh, they're gonna make it out all right. It looked like Klein had gotten room on the 58 of Haynes, but they were able to get single file there. Thought they were gonna make some contact, ended up not doing so. But it looks like the one machine leading that outside lane, they're getting a little bit of a run going as they're working some lap traffic and getting some luck out of that, getting some draft off of them.
Yeah, that is none other than Doc Holliday, who has led so much of this race. You know he's got to be frustrated. And they wreck coming off of the corner as they get a little loose. Caution. 6th caution of the night with 3 to go.
Yeah, big wreck there. Not sure what happened. Gonna try to get let's see. The 11 got into the 1, and not sure if he thought he was clear or if he got kind of knocked down by those cars, but I think the 11 might have attempted to just clear himself. The 10 was down there, and Robert Reynolds and the 11 go for a ride. The 3 of Jaden Gimbel, nowhere to go. He was involved. The 17 did a nice job of getting through there, but 3 cars with some massive damage here in the closing laps.
Absolutely. This is where everything comes down to the wire here. I want to try to get Michael York in here. I don't want to bother him too much. I'm curious if these guys are going to go in, take some fresh tires, or are they going to stay out and just say, whatever happens, happens?
Surely they didn't take the...
What?
Oh, no, iRacing was being goofy for me, so I thought for a second I was messing with my mind and thought they might have actually taken the white flag there and that the race was over, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Thankfully, we're going to get a green, white checkered finish.
Absolutely. We have Michael York in here. Michael, it's Eliza in the booth. How are you?
Just a little nervous. How are you guys?
I'm nervous for you. I'm excited, nervous, you name it. I am it. So I can't imagine being in the driver's seat right now. You're looking strong out there. What is your strategy for these final couple laps?
I just hope to get a clean restart here and just stay on the bottom. That's my main hope.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that we can get you your first win here of the season tonight. But stay out of trouble, and hopefully we'll get you that win.
Appreciate it. Thanks, boss.
All right, that was Michael York. We'll see what he can do out there, but man, oh man. You know, a lot of these guys, they're coming up with the strategies. They're trying to figure out what moves they can make in the shortest amount of time. They don't want to wreck each other. They don't want to have anything crazy happens. This is a huge points race. It can make or break a lot of guys. There's still a ton of racing left in the season, but it's tough out there. Jordan, if you're these guys, who do you see winning? Who's making that move for the win tonight?
I have no idea. Michael York in that lead spot, but he is blood in the water. I think I like that 63 of Giovanni Klein. He has a very aggressive driver behind him and Brian Huntley, but he's going to restart in a different line. He'll have the one of Hunter Johnson behind him, but he's going to be stuck in that inside line behind our leader. So not. It's going to be interesting. It's all going to be dependent on which line the 81 decides to take here for the green flag run to the finish. It looks like he is, I think we're getting close to the point where they're going to start doubling up maybe, but either way, so much of this depends on what the 81 chooses, because all of that momentum directly on the restart is going to come from that line the leader controls, and that's going to completely change everything here.
Big night for Michael York as he is going for his first win of the season. He is choosing the inside line, which honestly I'm not surprised. He's got his teammate Hunter Johnson 2 cars behind him, and last time when he chose the outside, he did have a teammate of John Honeycutt on the outside, of which they worked together. It's going to be a tough time trying to keep the lead. He is what I call a sitting duck. It's not a great place to be when you are trying to get a win here, so we'll see what he can make happen. He's going to have to defend that position.
He's going to have to hold on here for a lap and hope they can get to the checker flag. But of course, once they get to once they take that white flag, no yellows. So it's going to be. He's just going to have to play defense. He's going to have to be smart. Yeah, you can't win the race if you turn across somebody's nose, but you probably aren't going to be able to win this race by just wrapping the yellow line either. So he's going to have to be defensive. He's going to have to be smart. He's going to have to make all the right moves, and this is going to be tough, but it's going to be exciting. He's in a tough spot, but he's in an exciting spot. We'll see if he can pull it off.
You know, pretty much the top 11 here. If any one of these guys win, it will be a first-time winner here for Season 2. So a lot of excitement, a lot of nerves happening right now. And, man, I'm nervous. I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's get this going. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, all these guys, so much strategy going through the brain right now, trying to figure out where they can make their move, who they're going to work with, and how they're going to get the win.
Oh, big spin of the tires out of the 58 going through the gears. He gets the wall, gets into the 63 of Giovanni Klein. So both of those cars likely wounded from that incident. That allows the 81 to get out front, but that is not what you want. You do not want to be out front to allow those drivers to get a massive run on you. The one car able to get out front, and they all spin going into the corner. A massive wreck. Yellow flag is back out.
Nerves are definitely getting to these guys as we have another caution out. Matt O'Brien wrecked Brian Huntley Jr. Man, you see it right there. A lot collected. Oh my goodness. John Honeycutt collected once again. Tough night for him. Enrique Canones in that 45. Man, oh man, you guys.
Yeah, the 69 went for a hole that might have been there, might not have been. The one came down, definitely did come down into him after the 69 committed to that inside lane. Just was not able to throw the block in time. Yeah, the 41 involved, the 223 involved, the 17, the 33. A lot of good cars and drivers, and yeah, like you said, the 50 flew in there and took a pretty big hit himself. The 45 of Enrique Canones, he's had a horrible race ever since we talked to him earlier. Just a lot of drivers involved in that one.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get Hunter Johnson in here. Hunter, it's Eliza in the booth. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous out here for you guys. It's getting crazy out there. What's your strategy going on to these final few laps?
I would like to tell you, but I kind of can't thanks to the broadcast, so sorry.
I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, I wish you a ton of luck out there. Teammates P1, P2 right now. It's tough out there, though, so I wish you guys a ton of luck. Hopefully the strategy pays out for you guys, and let's keep her clean.
Well, yeah, we'll try. Hopefully we finish 1-2.
Absolutely. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
All right, you heard it there from Hunter Johnson, who's had quite the race out tonight so far. Michael York, who has been the leader for a little bit. Giovanni Klein, as Jordan said, he's looking really good out there, so he's got a lot of high hopes. He's got a teammate next to him, Cole Snyder, so we'll see what they can do, but this is crazy. So how do you win? How do you win this race? Or how do you, I don't know which one you're talking about with gambling or what, but how do you win this race? I couldn't tell you. A lot of luck, some strategy, a lot of help. Yeah, you can see 3 cars directly in front of him. One of them missing the front of his car, a lot of damage, a lot of smoke. Not a good night for him so far.
Yeah, I'd really like that. I'd really like that position the 63 was in if he didn't take a hit on that restart with the 58 of Haynes, really getting through the gears a little bit too quick and getting that massive wheel spin. That damage likely going to hurt him. That's one thing we definitely know about iRacing is hitting the right front pretty much anywhere, even at small tracks. It takes a lot off of your lap time. Or it adds a lot to your lap time, I should say. It really slows the car down, really hurts it, and at a track like this, where draft, where aerodynamics are so important, that's going to be real tough. He'll probably still be a great pusher, but I really worry about when he pops out of line if that car is going to still have the same speed that it would have had before that contact on the restart.
Absolutely. Mon's in chat and just says 2 simple words. I died. I know. It's tough out there. That's just how it goes. I was wishing you a ton of luck. I know there's been circumstances where you've just gotten caught up and there's absolutely nothing you can do. So, man, it's just how it goes. iRacing Superspeedway, it's always a nutty race. It can be fun or it can just be very frustrating. And Tinted says gambling. It's just all chance. It's just what number you draw. I have no control over that, but it's just one of those things. Mons, I'm in danger. Yeah, crazy race. These final several laps have been absolutely insane, and I've talked to a few of them. We got a lot of nerves out here in the driver's seat, so, it's just, it's one of those things.
Close to going green here, and it's looking like we'll have 15 cars on top of each other here for this restart. Looking through the field, one car I'm looking at is the one that's in 11th, that 88 of Doc Holliday, who was up front for a lot of this race, has been real aggressive up there. I wonder how he likely, after that contact, he used his fast repair there. I don't think he's had any other damage really any point of the race. So will the 88 be able to work his way through the field here? I think he's got a decent chance. I think there's a lot of wounded cars around him from these past laps. Gonna have to see, but they're gonna have to get through the first couple of corners here cleanly. We're gonna get this race over with.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we can get it done this time around. 7th caution of the night, just a few laps to go. The pace car will be off soon. We have teammates in the top row right here and a couple of teammates behind him. So, man, it's going to be very interesting to start as we are going back to green. We have Michael York in the lead. Hunter Johnson going to sneak in right behind him.
Buddy,
you're not clear.
He's not clear. Yeah, you're going to have to give that room up at some point. He does. He moves up to the outside lane, blocks Hudson. But that was one thing I noticed. Giovanni Klein got a great restart to push the 81 of Michael York behind Johnson. That car did not get a good restart. Left a lot of distance. That allowed the 81 out, but now the 81 is a sitting duck out by himself as they work the back straight into turn 3.
We'll see if he brings it down low, and he does. The 53 almost gets into the 63 as he's trying to bring it down low. A car just flies into the corner and dives it way back up the track from hitting the apron. Great save by these guys, but Michael York still holding out the lead. 2 laps left, and we're coming down to the final here, and this is the final lap. Hunter Johnson behind him. We got the 63 of Giovanni Klein in 3rd. This is it, guys. This is the final lap.
There's no way they make it around. There's no way they all make it around.
We're gonna see the big one. TW Warehouse, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. This is the final lap
He's getting
here.
the run. He's going to pull up. He's going to stay behind the 81. It's like you were talking about earlier. You want to wait until that final corner. He's going to opt to behind the 81, but behind him, there's a car moving to the outside. I believe that is Kyle Benson as they work through 3 and 4 the final time as they're heading onto the straight.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Are we going to see Michael York get his first win of the season? Hunter Johnson in second, and 63 of Giovanni Klein might be the top 3. Wow, what a great finish here. This is crazy. A couple of cars already spinning out. Man, congratulations to Michael York. What a finish.
Yeah, the one just never really able to get a good enough run on him. Really almost had to play defense there with those drivers behind him. Kind of was stuck in a position where he couldn't get a run on the 81. Had to stay behind him, and they came home 1-2. The 63 of Giovanni Klein, he comes home in third. Kyle Benson fourth, and Cole Snyder they're in the top 5.
Absolutely. We're going to see Michael York do some celebrating as he gets his first win of the season. Absolutely incredible out there. Super excited for these guys. Hunter Johnson in second. Giovanni Klein will get him in the booth. He brings it home in third. Great race for these guys. We're going to go ahead and let Michael York do some celebrating, or do you want to get your interview going? All right, take a look at that, guys. Absolutely incredible for these guys. Little teammate congratulatory spin outs right here. Huge win for FTR, second of the season. You see the 3 teammates that are out on track right now doing some burnouts, and Michael York led a great portion of the final part of the race. Michael York, congratulations on your win tonight. How was it going through the final few laps, and what were you thinking?
Oh, I was just glad I had my teammate behind me. We were obviously talking the whole way, so I gotta give a thanks to Mark there for looking out for me there at the end. But yeah, that's crazy. What a first win, right?
Absolutely. Great job. Yeah, you guys had a lot going for you, and a very hungry crew behind you trying to take it for the pass, but you guys held it off and got the first win, so congratulations.
Thank you for having me on your team. Like, once again, thank you to Mark. I had Cold Dog Racing that was on the inside. They were with me too. At least I don't know if they would have been coming to the line or whatnot, but I had some friends with me, and that really played a part. But thank you guys for broadcasting, and appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right, that was our winner, Michael York. We're going over to P2.
Yeah, here with the driver of the number 1 machine, Mark Johnson. A solid race all race long. A crazy race. You're there with your teammate, pushing him, worked with him there to the end. What did you need to work out differently there for you to get a shot at getting your first win of the season?
When it came to the end of it, I really wasn't thinking about my first win. I was just thinking about getting the team a nice, good win. Trying to just secure him some good points, because I'm so far down in the points, I really don't care. So I was just trying to help some teammates out, help him get some good points, and then hopefully I can run elsewhere and get me a good win.
Talk about the racing out there. It's wild. This place seemed wild from the outside. Was it as crazy down there on the racetrack?
I think it was a little bit crazier than it was from the outside. Every time you think you had a run, you had a bigger run than you thought. When you try to go push a guy nice and easy, you end up slamming him. You had to be really gentle and not end up shoving him too hard to wreck him.
Well, a solid run from Mark Johnson. Comes home in second place.
Giovanni Klein rounding out the top 3 right here. Great race for you, and what a fun run that you had. Take us through your final laps, and what was your strategy going through?
Strategy was to keep a fast repair, because I feel like if you had a fast repair, you had a really good shot and be a little bit more aggressive towards the end. Sadly, I used that, but yeah, near the end, I had that second to last restart. I got doored. I was like, oh, is that going to hurt my chances to win this? And luckily it didn't. I know I got hit pretty hard, but luckily I had a teammate behind me. I was trying to check up, and it just wasn't enough. Couldn't get big of a run at that last part.
Well, a top 3 is something to be really proud about, and you had a great run, staying strong throughout the entire race. So huge congratulations to you on the top 3. It was an incredible race. All right, guys, that is it for us tonight. What a race, a wild one. And next week, it's going to be even more wild as we head to Charlotte. So a lot of fun racing to be had. But man, oh man, what a race tonight. I'm excited for it. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We will be back next week for Charlotte at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Hall, thank you for the cheers. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the follows and subs and everything. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, guys.